So Netivot Shalom, and we did Monday, we did the Parashat Shavua, Vayakel, and this Shabbat is actually Shabbat Chodesh, right? Mevarchim, and we're reading not only the Parasha, Vayakel Pikudei, two Parshiyot, we're also reading the fourth one, which is the Chodesh, right? We had Zachor about the Amalek. First we had Shkalim, then we have Zachor Amalek, and then we have Para. Para was Metaher us, and now the last one, we're ready now for the Chodesh. Chodesh הזה לכם ראש חודשים, ואומר השם אל משה ואל אהרון בארץ מצרים, right? So Moshe is speaking to Moshe and Aaron in the land of Egypt. That was in the beginning, right? The process of the redemption. לאמור החודש הזה לכם ראש חודשים, ראשון הוא לכם לחודשי השנה. I mean, if we are not confused enough, because we have Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year is the Tishrei, but the first month is actually ניסן, right? We're counting for the first month, ניסן. That will be the first one for the months of the year. Our sages says, rejuvenating, renewing of the contract, right, of Chodesh Nisan, Rosh v'Rishon למעלה מכל זמני התחדשות. That's like the highest time or the most important time of rejuvenating, getting renewing, right, for the whole year. And the explanation according to what it says in the Holy Book, כי בכל שנה מתחדשת דרך חדשה בעבודת השם. Like every year we have a new path in Avodat Hashem. And the time for that new path to establish, to happen, is in Chodesh Nisan, which is the beginning of the year. And therefore from Nisan, they were starting to bring the korbanot from the new Truma. Right? We have Yashan, we have Chadash. But here in Nisan, they will bring the sacrifices from the new donation. And like, why? Why you have to makpid? Why it have to be only from the new donation, contribution, and not from the old one? If I still have from the old one. אלא לפי שעיקר עבודת השם של ישראל הייתה על ידי בית המקדש, because our main avoda was at the time in the בית המקדש. And מחצית השקל, right? We learned the half of the shekel that each and every Jew was giving, and half because only when we are together we are complete, but without the rest of the people we are only half. So bringing the מחצית השקל, it's the connection that we have to the בית המקדש. And this Mechatzit Shekel was part also in the sacrifices, in the korbanot that bring us closer to Hashem. And because every year we have a new path in Avodat Hashem, it's like rejuvenating or renewing or a new one, then we also need to have new korbanot that will be from the donation or contribution from the new Mechatzit Shekel. So that will be all connected, and that will be a special connection with that special path or the new path that we have for that year. And this is also the explanation to the Rishon Ulachem Lechodshei Hashanah. This is like the first month of the months of the year, because then the new path is starting, and that's where the rejuvenating Itchadshut. Also, in the first of the months of the year, including higher level in Avodat Hashem. The Chag Pesach, right? Pesach is the Rosh Hashanah le'emunah. It's like the new year for the emunah, for faith. As our sages said, בזכות האמונה נגאלו אבותינו ממצרים. ובזכות האמונה עתידים לגלות. Because we had the faith, basically we say this is like the only reason why we were redeemed from Egypt, because we had the faith. We didn't have merit, and because of the faith, we're going to be redeemed again in the future, Bezrat Hashem, really, really soon. So in Egypt, לא היה להם שום כוח רוחני. They didn't have a spiritual strength or power, but only faith that they had. As it says, ve'amen ha'am, right, that they have the amen faith. Is repeating here about some of the verses in the Torah. They were sink into the 49 level of Tuma. They had no merit, barely mitzvot. And therefore, because of the emunah, and because this is the months of Nisan, that's the months of the emunah. והנה כוח האמונה, as it says in Tehillim, right? ואמונתך סביבותיך, like the faith is surrounding, that is surrounding us and surrounding the highest level. As the Baal Shem HaKadosh says, after all my achievements and everything that I have, I left only with the emunah. And the sages said, what's the reason for one righteous person to be in a higher level from another righteous person? Because the one that has clarity in his faith is putting him in a higher level. And the higher level are depending on the clarity of the faith that you have. That's why it's a level of faith that we have, level of emunah. It says even the lowest level, when a Jew is in a situation, when he's in the 49 level of Tumah Chas v'Chalila, and he doesn't see the path in front of it, doesn't see the way out, then if he has the faith, that will help him to save himself, right? And he says in other places, he already explained that the faith, האמונה מקיפה, it's like surrounding us from the brain, right, to the heart, to the body, and in the brain, it's the hashkafot, it's the opinion. What do we hold on? What do we think of, right? If it's that Torah or not that Torah. And then it's the heart, which is the desire. We have like desire that we will, that we want, that we're using our will of power for this desire, which is the positive one, and chas v'chala with the negative one. And then eventually the faith is surrounding us, the entire body. It says komat adam, from head to toe, or toes to head. In all his ramach evarav, right, all the 630 parts of the body will be with the emunah. Until that even the bones, which are the gas, these are the megusham, right? These are the physical thing. Even the bones will be rooted with the emunah. And because Pesach is the Rosh Hashanah le'emunah for the faith, right? Which is the foundation of everything. Therefore, this is like the first month of the year. And therefore, Kol HaMarbe lesaper b'yetziat Mitzrayim, everyone that is speaking a lot about the redemption of Egypt, Arei ze meshubach, right? It's good, it's praised. Why? Why? Because the more he speaks about the Yetziat Mitzrayim, the more he bringing himself to a higher level in emunah, in the faith. Also including in the first months of the year, Hashem love to us was revealed in that month. Right? He called us the firstborn, right? My son, firstborn, right? To Paro, even though we were in the 49 level. And when Moshe said, yeah, but look, idols are all over. He said, no, I'm not going to look at that. It doesn't look. Why? Why Hashem doesn't look? Because when you love someone so much, then you overlook the other things, are tafel, are the nonsense, become nonsense, because you want to be with him, because you love him. So Hashem doesn't look at it. And this is Pesach, which is also Rosh Hashanah le'ava, New Year for love. Not like Valentine's Days, right? But love to Hashem. Maybe they got their ideas from here, right? We have Rosh Hashanah for the trees, Rosh Hashanah for the faith, Rosh Hashanah for love. So now Moshe was building the Mishkan, right? They bring the donation and everything, and they have the blueprints, and they started to build the Betzalel and the vessel, utensils, and everything. And then suddenly it was supposed to be in Kislev, and then Hashem said, no, wait. Put everything in the boxes. Everybody waiting for one ניסן, first of ניסן. Why? Because again, that was the revelation of Hashem to us, his love to us. Right? So, therefore, Hashem wanted us to wait for ניסן, because that's also an indication about Hashem love to us. And that day of the Bet HaMikdash was the Yom Simchat Libo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, it has to be in that month of love, which is the first ניסן, which is the Rosh Hashanah to love, right? First year for the head of the year for love, and head of the year for emunah. And that was the appropriate time to go down, the Shekhinah, to go down to this world and dwell within us. In that ניסן. And also, the חודש הזה שהוא ראש וראשון לכל חודשי השנה, it's the first month. As they said, ניסן הוא ראש השנה לרגלים. Right? We have 3 regalim. Pesach is the first one. Right? So Pesach, we have Shavuot, and then we have Sukkot. So that's also the head of the regalim. And he says, בראש כל מועדות, in the head of all the Yom Tov that we have, Pesach is the highest one. Because this is also like the context of Erusim, of engagement with Hashem. Right, engagement. And then we have the wedding, which was Kabbalat Torah later on. Right? Shavuot. So we're counting the days, right? Like the bride and the groom, and they're counting the days when they can be together. So Pesach was the engagement day, and 49 days after, which was elevating us from one midah to another, right? From the 49 level of Tuma into the highest one, which is, right? Again, receiving the Torah. That was the wedding day. And all of these things, he says, there exist also in Shabbos Kodesh. As it says, "Uberachto mikol ha'yamim," that Hashem blessed from all the days, and He was sanctified from all the times, right? And the Shabbat is also the foundation of emunah, of faith. That because why it's a faith? Because 6 days we're working, we're running around, etc., etc., and suddenly 7th day we stop. No, now we stop. And that you need to have a strong faith to that. Same thing on the 7th year, right? Which is the Shnat Shmita. People that the way of making living at the time was farmers, agriculture, and suddenly after 6 years, they have to stop. And if they have a Yovel, then 2 years in a row, they have to stop working the land. You need really a strong faith to do that, to trust Hashem that He will provide. So Shabbat Kodesh, I have the same thing on a small level, small scale. 6 days we're running around in the rat race, and then the 7th day we stop. And also in the Shabbat, we have the same level of engagement, of wedding, right? Because first, we just mentioned it so many times that Shabbat is the mate, right, of Israel. In Israel, Knesset Israel, right? Each day have a mate. Sunday have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Shabbat said, what about me? Knesset Israel will be your Ben Zugech, your right? Where is the last one? Somebody said something? Lee, you trying to say something?
Harvey's not muted.
Okay. Right. So, and also in Shabbat, the 3 parts are included, as it says in the Avud Ram, on the 3 times of Shabbos Kodesh, right? The night of the Shabbat is like the engagement and the Kiddushin, right? And this is what we say in the Tefillah, in the Davening, V'ata Kiddashta, and you sanctified. And the day of Shabbat is like the marriage itself, the wedding, right? As it says in the Tefillah, Yismach Moshe b'matnat chelko, right? That the groom is giving presents to the bride. U'b'shalosh seudot, the 3rd meal, it's the Ra'ava de Ra'avin, the time of will, the highest peak, right? The peak, actually, which is the unity with Hashem. Like the bride and the groom are uniting. So in Shabbat Kodesh, we have all of this level of faith, love, and cleaving. Same thing in the Shlosha Regalim. And therefore Pesach, which is the head, is also called Shabbat, as it says, Mimochorat Shabbat, right? It's a big machloket with the Kutim, with the Shomronim, whatever, that's Dukim, that say that, no, only after the first Shabbat, and we say, yeah, Pesach is a Shabbat, so right after Pesach, we have to count the Omer, and all of these levels. And this is the reason why we are reading the parasha of Chodesh when the Shabbat Mevarchim, before Rosh Chodesh ניסן, and all the other Parshiyot. And all our life, it's all preparation for the next step. And ניסן is that month. So Bezrat Hashem, and I think it's so unbelievable how it's related, because we have Chodesh Adar, right, which Purim, which we have to marbe b'simcha, to increase the simcha, the happiness, the joy. And then right after that, what comes next? The first month, rejuvenating, new path in Avodat Hashem, the first regel, spring, everything is resurrecting, reviving, the whole creation starting. Bezrat Hashem, we should all see miracles and Mashiach, and have a great Shabbos, and thank you for listening.